This is one of the most common and difficult questions in life and faith. People look at suffering, injustice, sickness, or tragedy and ask, if God is good and loving, why does He allow this to happen, especially to those who serve Him? The Bible doesn't shy away from this question. In fact, it shows us both the reality of suffering and the hope that God gives us in the midst of it. From Genesis 3, when Adam and Eve sinned, sin and death entered the world. Because of this, we live in a fallen world where pain, sickness, and suffering exist. Romans 8:22 says, "All creation has been groaning as in the pains of childbirth right up to the present time." Even the good people are not exempt because the brokenness affects everyone. Bad things don't mean God is absent. It means creation itself is waiting for full redemption. God never promised a life without trouble. John 16:33, "In this world you will have trouble, but take heart, I have overcome the world." Being Christian does not mean we are shielded from pain, but it does mean we are given the strength to endure it with hope. Look at Job, a righteous man who suffered greatly, not because of his sin, but as part of God's bigger plan. God doesn't promise a storm-free life, but He promises to be with us in the storm. God uses suffering to shape and refine us. Romans 5:3-4, suffering produces perseverance, perseverance, character, and character, hope. Trials often deepen our faith, teach us dependence on God, and prepare us for greater purpose. Think of Joseph in Genesis, betrayed by his brothers, imprisoned unjustly, but God used his pain to save nations. What feels like defeat in the moment may be preparation for destiny. The example of Jesus Christ. The best person who ever lived, Jesus Himself, suffered the most unjustly. He was innocent, yet crucified. His suffering was not meaningless. It became the salvation of the world. This shows us that even when bad things happen, God can bring the greatest good out of the deepest pain. If God allowed His own Son to suffer for a greater purpose, He can also use our pain for His glory. Our hope is eternal. 2 Corinthians 4:17. For our light and momentary troubles are achieving for us an eternal glory that far outweighs them all. Suffering is temporary, but eternity with God is forever. Revelation 21:4 promises a day when He will wipe every tear from their eyes. There will be no more death or mourning or crying or pain. Our hope is not in this world being perfect, but in God's promise of eternal restoration. Bad things happen to good people because we live in a broken world. But God is still good, and He is still in control. He walks with us in suffering, He uses it for a greater purpose, and He promises that in eternity, all pain will end. Faith does not mean we will never face suffering. Faith means we trust God's goodness even when we don't understand His plan. If this message encouraged you, please like, comment your thoughts below, and subscribe to Anchored in Faith for more biblical teachings that strengthen your walk with Christ. Remember, when life doesn't make sense, God is still good, and His promises never fail.